This is the first in a series of videos that will show you how to do the Monday homework. So the first directions say make up your own quadratic equation and solve it 4 ways. Make up your own quadratic equation by multiplying two linear factors together using single-digit roots or solutions between -9 and +9. So I'm going to select x equals -8 and x equals +3. If I add 8 to both sides of this little equation, I get x plus 8 equals 0. So the way this works is it's x minus the solution. So if I put in a -8, that would be x plus 8. So here I'm going to subtract 3 from both sides. So x minus 3 equals 0. So it's x minus the solution. So this is going to stay x minus 3. X times x is x squared. X times -3 is -3x. 8 times x is positive 8x. And 8 times -3 is -24. So if you add the two rows, you'll get x squared plus 5x minus 24. So the quadratic equation I've just made up is x squared plus 5x minus 24 equals 0. So the first thing is I'm going to go back and solve this by factoring and using the zero product principle. So the first thing I do is look at the sign on the constant term. So I know to get an x squared, I need an x times an x. Since this sign is negative, I know I have to have a plus here and a minus here. So I need to multiply two numbers that will go here and here together and get a -24. Since this middle term is positive, this has to be the bigger number. So here are my choices. I can do 24 times -1. So that would give me the -24, but if I add these two together, I get a +23 in the middle. So that's not the correct factorization. I could do +12 times -2, but that would give me a +10 in the middle. So I'm going to try +8 times -3. So that'll give me the -24, and if I add 8 plus a -3, I get +5. So that is the correct factorization. So x plus 8 and times x minus 3. So x plus 8 equals 0 or x minus 3 equals 0. So I'm going to jump to x equals -8 or x equals +3. Now I'm going to take that same quadratic equation and solve it by graphing. So what I'm really doing is removing the 0 and replace it with y equals or f1 of x equals. So I'm going to go to my calculator. Right now I'm in a calculator page. I'm going to go Control plus page and add a graph page. So I'm going to put in x squared plus 5x minus 24 and hit enter. So the function graphs, and it has x-intercepts or zeros of the function at x equals -8 and x equals 3. If I didn't have this function going through perfect tick marks, I could ask the calculator to find those zeros for me. I would go to Menu, 6 for analyze graph, and 1 for 0. The calculator now asks me some questions. The first question it asks is lower bound. So I'm going to click here. Then it's now asking me upper bound. So I've got x equals -8, y equals 0. So we're worried about the x coordinate. So that's one solution, x equals -8. We'll go menu, 6, 0. So now I need a lower bound to the left of my other x-axis crossing. So I'm going to click there, drag across, and I get 3, 0 is the 0, or x-intercept, and I'm interested in the x coordinate. So that's 3, 0, or x equals 3, x equals -8. So now we'll go back and solve using by completing the square. So writing down my equation again, it's x squared plus 5x minus 24 equals 0. I'm going to rewrite this x squared plus 5x plus leave a space equals leave a space plus 24. So I've really just added the 24 to both sides, left a space here, left a space here. This will always be a positive. So I'm now going to take the coefficient on the middle term and divide it by 2. So that's 5 halves. I square that to get 25 fourths. Since I added 25 fourths to this side, I need to add 25 fourths to the right side. Okay, this trinomial becomes x plus this number squared. Now on this side I have a problem. I've got fourths here, and this is just an integer. So I need to find a common denominator. So I can write this as 24 over 1 and multiply by 4, or multiply by 1 in the form of 4 over 4. So this will give me 25 fourths. 4 times 20 is 80, 4 times 4 is 16, 80 plus 16 is 96, so this is going to be 96 fourths, and then 25 plus 96 is 121 fourths. So I want to get x by itself, so I'm going to take the square root of both sides, and I need to add in plus or minus here. So this is going to give me x plus 5 halves equals plus or minus the square root of 121 fourths. Well, 121 is 11 squared, so this is plus or minus 11, and the square root of 4 is 2. So I end up with a common denominator here. So all I have to do is subtract 5 halves from both sides. So x equals -5 plus or minus 11. Since this was a common denominator, it's all over 2. So that's going to give me two solutions. -5 minus 11 is -16. So that's x equals -16 over 2, which is -8. -5 plus 11 is +6 over 2, which is also 3. So now we're going to solve the same equation by using the quadratic formula. So this is the standard quadratic equation, and this is the quadratic formula. So there's a 1 here that I normally don't write. So this coefficient on the x squared, a, is 1. So this coefficient on the x is 5, and the constant term c is negative 24. So I'm going to use the quadratic formula. X equals the negative of b, so that's negative 5 plus or minus the square root. B squared, b is 5, so b squared is 25, minus 4 times a, which is 1, times c, which is negative 24. Then that's in one big fraction all over 2 times a, so it's 2 times 1. So we have negative 5 plus or minus, so this is negative times negative, and 4 times 24 we found out was 96. So this is 25 plus 96, and 2 times 1 is just 2. So x equals negative 5 plus or minus the square root of 121 over 2. And that will turn out to be the same two answers we had before. So the square root of 121 is 11. So that gives us x equals negative 8, or x equals positive 3. And that concludes this video.